Hi everyone, it's me Darlene with nothing in particular to talk about, but I just need to sit down and chat. I think I've skipped 2 nights on this channel. I know I have one on Growing Up Crazy. I haven't even checked that to see how it's been doing, but I wanted to record here. And I always have these ideas during the day that I will plan a video, and when I go to bed on my iPad, I'll take notes and what I want to talk about and stuff, and then all I want to do is watch TikTok when I go to bed, so that's not a good idea, trying to take notes. And I do take notes sometimes and put them on my desk, and usually that just ends up in a pile of notes that I never look at again. Or I will look at them, but I'm not in the mood to do that kind of a video. Sometimes I will actually look at my notes and I'll say to you, or you'll see that I'm looking down. That's because I actually have notes that are helpful in that moment. But I'm struggling today with having not enough time syndrome. And I know there's enough time to do the things that I want to do. But, well, first of all, it was 76 degrees and my air conditioner was not working again. It stopped working, but what I loved is I just went to the manager's office. I don't even call them. I just go by, I go in, my AC's not working, and the guy fixed it. But then a few days later, it stopped again. So I went to do some errands, and then on my way back, I stopped at the manager's office and told them about it. Then I stopped at Derek's and just chatted with him for a few minutes. And then by the time I got to the apartment, my mother said, 2 men were here and they were knocking. And I was like, you mean to tell me they came that quick? I was like expecting them in a couple days. Yeah, so they came. I missed them. It cooled off a little bit, so I wasn't concerned. But then I noticed a couple nights ago that my night light in the kitchen, because my bedroom is the dining room and I have a little night light, wasn't working. So I bought bulbs, wasn't working. Then it dawned on me, something's wrong with the power, because I had charged my cameras and realized they hadn't charged, and I thought, oh, maybe I just didn't have them plugged in. I mean, I didn't know. So I checked the other outlet and that one wasn't working, and also the light on top of the sink wasn't working. So I'm like, power is out on this whole wall. And I pushed the little reset buttons and all that. I couldn't get that to work. So today I went to the post office, and it's so cool that I just called Skylar. Want to go to the post office with me just for the ride, and gives us a little time to chat. And so I picked her up. She went to the post office with me, and then I stopped at the manager's office and told them that I needed somebody to come back, and while they were there, they could look at the air conditioning again. And I told Skylar, I got to just drop you off because I got to get right back to the apartment. And as I pulled into my apartment, the 2 guys were there almost ready to knock on the door. And I was like, I'm here this time. So that's what I love about apartment living and in a complex. And I'm sure even complexes can have poor service. This one so far is like, it's immediate. And I didn't have to make calls. I didn't have to worry about paying the bills. And, I know that's all in, what I'm paying, but I like it that way so much more. I mean, it's just so nice. It's almost like I just have a handyman living in the area who will just come and do my stuff for free. Like I said, rent is a little high here, and I'm willing to pay higher rent to not have that kind of stress, because that's what I was getting away from when I said I did not want to be a homeowner anymore. So he came and he fixed my outlets, and then it just happened that the light bulb was burned out, but that might have been caused, it might have burned out because of whatever was going on. And then the AC was a matter of a breaker. He showed me where my breakers are, because I didn't know that. I have a little storage shed here, and I never even looked in it. It's kind of cool, but I'm not really going to use it. I'm never putting fabric in the storage shed. That's always in the house. And in the apartment. I still say house because I'm so used to that. I don't know. I don't know why I can't find my balance. It's still very early on, so I will find a better balance. I think I've done pretty good, especially with the sale that I had last weekend. But it's like I would like to have more time to cut fabric and set up my sales, but then I need time to record. And it's like, how was I doing that? I mean, I was just doing that around the clock when I was living at home. Even when I had my mother, before she went into the nursing home, I was always cutting fabric and doing my videos. I don't know what's different, but something feels different. And I feel like I'm slacking or falling behind and just not getting stuff done that I want to get done. And it's certainly not because of my new schedule with these additional things that I've added, because those are not all that time consuming, although they can be, especially the like things like forms and phone calls. But I am, getting some of those things done, so that's good. Now, here's this. I went yesterday to the post office, and then I stopped at Walgreens to have some photocopies made. I don't have a printer. I used to in Maine, but the scanner died, and that's the only reason I ever used it. For when I had my coupon business, because I used to scan store flyers, and that's why I had that. Other than that, I have a laser printer. I don't like buying ink. I buy a laser toner cartridge. It's like $15 and it lasts me a long time, even though I print a lot of shipping labels and postage. That's the way to go for me, because I do a lot of printing. So I don't want to invest in a stupid scanner printer thing just to scan a few things, every now and then. So I said, I'm going to go to Walgreens, and there's a computer, and the woman sits with me and helps me and shows me how to, I had to it was a lot. And so we print 3 different things. My mother's marriage certificate, which I found, which is all in French. I thought that was kind of cool. And my father's death certificate, and then my mother's letter for Social Security. So we scanned those 3 things, and then she said, now you just sit there and wait, and when it comes out, then you just pay for it at the counter. And I was like, okay, cool. And I waited, and then she saw that I was waiting, and she says, I'm going to go check. And she goes, oh, it'll be out soon. I guess I thought, printing other things were coming out of the machine or whatever. So I waited 15 more minutes, and then I stood up, and my girl that helped me wasn't there anymore. So I asked somebody else, and I said, is it going to be much longer? I said, because my mother is home alone, and I can come back and pick them up later or tomorrow. And she said, what's your name? So I tell her, and she goes, oh no, everything's right here. Everything was right there the whole time. So that kind of sucked. But I said, okay, great. And she goes, but you can't have these. I said, what are you talking about? She goes, it's illegal to copy these kinds of documents. I said, it's not illegal. She goes, yeah, we can't give that to you. And I said, well, I'm like, why didn't the person who was helping me tell me that? So I wouldn't have wasted all this time. And she says, well, she goes, I guess she just didn't know. And I said, look, it's not illegal to copy this stuff. I said, it's not like there's copyrights on it or anything like that. She wouldn't let me have the 3 things that I had scanned. And so I left. And then when I got home, it kind of bugged me that they had those papers that had very personal, my mother's income on the Social Security numbers. My father's dead, so even if somebody has his Social Security number, I don't really care. But, I don't worry about stuff like that much. But it still just bothered me that I didn't say to her, I want to see you shred those or put them in a shredder with me watching you do that. But then I called because I wanted to talk to a manager, because I wanted somebody else to tell me why that was illegal. And she was saying it was illegal for me to even want those copies. The fact that I scanned those and sent them through, that was illegal, what I was doing. So I'm not kidding. I get on the phone and I talk to a person, and she said, I'm going to get you the manager. I said, okay. Somebody answers. I tell her the whole story, and she's like, I don't know much about that. And I was like, well, aren't you the manager? She goes, no. She goes, I just answered the phone. I said, I need a manager. 3rd person answers, not a manager. She goes, I will get you a manager. 4th person who answers, I hear it and she starts saying something, and then it goes dead, and I was like, okay. And I looked. At that point, I was at 14 minutes. And I said, I'm just going to wait a little bit longer. And then finally somebody comes on, and she's the manager, and I start telling her my story, and she goes, yeah, I know all about this. I'm the one who told you it was illegal. I ended up with that same person. So I knew I wasn't getting anywhere there. And it just, I don't know. I just don't do well when things don't make sense. And I like people to be able to explain why. I looked at their policy. This is how serious I take these things. There's not one mention of not being able to scan a fucking marriage certificate. It's like, what? So I came home with the paperwork, and now I'm afraid to go anywhere else. I'm just, the library, and she even said you could try the library. I'm like, well, if it's illegal, why would I go try it anywhere else? I mean, it just wasn't making sense. So I was going to go to the library today. I just couldn't. I couldn't bring myself to go. I just couldn't. And I did call the UPS store. And somebody answered. I just, all of a sudden that doesn't sound right, but I think it was a UPS store. And the person answered, and I said, do you do photocopies there? He goes, gee, I don't even know. He goes, let me ask. And he comes back, he goes, no, we don't. And today the social worker came. She goes, oh my God, go to the UPS store. She goes, right here in Hernando. She says, they do all that stuff. I said, I called them, and they said they didn't. You know, I don't know. I don't know. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that an interesting story? Wait till I tell you about what I'm going through with my mover. I'm this close, that's not too close, this close to finally being able to give up on thinking that they will ever help me with this very kind of tiny issue, but it bugs me. And I want to pursue it. I don't know. I have nothing better to do, I guess, than to pursue ridiculous things just because it pisses me off. And so now I've decided, though, back to the paperwork, that I'm going to just take pictures with my camera. And it even says in the veterans letter not to send originals. Scan the papers. Scan your documents. Do not send the originals because you may not get them back. And I'm going to tell them that's illegal. So I'm going to do this and see if I can. I can't do anything with the phone. My phone is ancient, and even if I did it on my iPad, I don't know how to get it to my computer so I can print. So I'm pretty much a dinosaur. It does amaze me that I can do the things that I do. I was going to say that I do, but then that means I'm saying do. So I thought if I separated those and just said that I do, that sounded better. And I'm sure I have steak between my teeth somewhere, because I don't know where my picks are that are a pick on one end and the little flossing thing. I love those. I gotta find those. The TV is so loud. I'm so tired of the TV. And the thing is I'm doubling up on words apparently. Even if it's this loud, my mother can't really hear it good, so it doesn't even make sense to have the volume up. But I feel like she can hear it maybe. I don't know. I want to get her some headphones, and I will try it, I guess. I don't know. She won't want to wear them. She just won't. She'll come up with some weird thing as to why she can't do that. She's allergic to them. They give her a headache. I mean, she comes up with stuff. She's been doing so well taking Benadryl at night. And now, last night, she would not let me give her Benadryl because it makes her mouth dry, she says. But she sleeps so well with the Benadryl, and last night she didn't have any, and it was a fucking mess. She started at 4 a.m., just causing me so much trouble, and all I wanted to do was sleep. And I knew this stuff wasn't urgent because she, sleeps through the night with Benadryl and wakes up pretty good. And this, I knew, just was going to not go well. She just was determined. She was like argumentative and just wanted to start something, and that lasted off and on. I was able to fall asleep. I'd have to get up a couple times and just try to, say, please, sleep. Just lay there. Don't worry about things. And finally got her up this morning. It was just not a good way to start a day, and I'm tired, you know. So when I don't sleep good, I know that it's always just not good. But you know, she's better today. She did some coloring, and I want to get her to take the Benadryl tonight. That's all there is to it. Now, hospice said there's a thing I can rub on her. It's a different cream. It's like Benadryl, I think, or something, and that will help her sleep. But they ordered it. I never got it. Anything this hospice orders, I don't get. I've been ordering her underwear. Doesn't come. Her ointment doesn't come. So I don't know. I always got the supplies with the first hospice, but I still like this hospice better. The other ones, they didn't, you know, I don't know. I had to be involved. Already, I know these people well enough that I can just work, and they just take care of my mother. She comes in, she knows how to, you know, find all the stuff to give her her sponge bath, and that's, you know, that's what I like. I like to not have to be the one bathing my mother while they help me. You know? That's what it was like with the others. No, there was one good one, but she bought my mother fish. I think since I'm all over the place with this, that I will stop. But I'm glad I got to chat with you for a little bit, because I just needed to. I just needed somebody to talk to. And even though there's another human that lives in this house, it's not, you know, it's very one-sided. I can't just talk and say things that I want. I always have to be careful what I say, and you know, it's just stressful. All right, thank you so much for watching. I will be back with more soon. Bye.